So I've approached over 5,000 women in my dating career. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the main lessons that I got throughout this process and the amazing results that happen along the way, and also what you can learn from it and apply it to your dating life. And if you can ask yourself, well, who is this guy speaking about his dating experiences? Well, my name is Ofer Corbino. Me and my partner, Michael, created the company Real Communication. And we've coached thousands of guys and we help them to get control over their dating life. And what I mean by that is a lot of guys come work with us and they don't have really the confidence to speak with women. They feel shy. They feel like they kind of got enough of the dating apps and stuff like that. And they see it doesn't really work. And if it works, it doesn't really work for them. Or you got a date on the dating app, but now you don't know what to do on the date itself. So you need to develop your masculinity. You need to develop your social skills, your flirting skill. And this is what we teach men to do. And with that, you can reach amazing results with women and in life in general, because those social skills help me in business, with family, with friends. All right. So the stuff that I'm going to speak about today is also from my own experience, but also I've seen it happening to a lot of our trainees. And our vision is now to help people all over the world. And if you share this vision and you want to help us reach as many people as possible, well, you can press that like button. That will help us a lot. You can click that subscribe button, and also you can click the notification bell and click receive all, and also get notified every time we upload a new video. And after we did that, let's continue on to the video. So actually my story begins in around my teenage years. And this was a very hard time for me. Actually experienced a lot of social anxiety. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I felt like it's very difficult for me to express myself. I felt like in social situations, I was very shy. I was very timid. And also with women, I had a lot of tough time there actually expressing my sexuality and expressing my interest in women. I always got into the friend zone. I had a lot of female friends, because I was very nice and I was always listening to them and their problems, but they never wanted something intimate with me. And looking back, well, some girls did, but I didn't actually interpret that as a good sign, and I didn't know what to do. And now, of course, looking back at it, I'm like, you're stupid. She actually waited for her to kiss you and you're like, so good night. Okay, so this stuff happened to me a lot. And around the age of 18, I was still in my high school. I remember that I've watched a video, and it was one of those videos that actually changed my life. So it was actually a video speaking about how you can meet your next girlfriend. And in this video, the guy talked about that the main way to get a girl that you really like to fall in love with you and get into a relationship with you is actually speaking with a lot of women and then choosing the right type of girl for you. And I heard that, and the first thought that came to my mind is, this is for magicians. This is not for me. I actually thought that you need to have a specific gene in order to succeed with women. And looking back at it, this is absolutely crazy, because there's a lot of guys that succeeding with women, and they're not always good looking, right? And they're not always the most charming, but something works for them, right? But I looked at it at the age of 18 and I didn't really see how can I do it. But I got curious, so I've watched a lot of videos about dating and social skills. And the more I watched, the more I wanted to watch, and the more I learned. But, learning is not the same as doing. So I had a really tough time actually implementing what I've learned. And actually what happened to me is I got into this paralysis analysis, which I actually couldn't implement the stuff I've learned because I've learned so much. And I don't know what to do with this knowledge, right? I would look at a woman and I'm like, I know exactly what to say to her. And this is actually kind of led me into this internal pressure that, okay, Ofik, you know what to do, do it. You know what to do, you know what to do. And sometimes when clients come to us and they said, I've learned this material for a lot of years, I actually say to them that maybe the process will be more difficult for them, because I need to first get all the junk from their brain, because a lot of guys, they actually learn a lot of junk material because, everyone can say, yeah, I'm a dating coach, I do this, I do that. But not a lot of dating coaches are actually very successful with women, or that they are successful, but they don't know how to actually explain to a guy how to do it properly. So I say to them, first of all, let's get the junk out of your brain, and then we can put some new information in. And for me, the change was like half a year after I started to learn about this material. I actually was in some sort of a festival, and I remember this was this day that I told myself, okay, so today, Ofik, you're going to approach a woman no matter what. And I was with my like lesbian friend I had at the time. Yeah, this is a funny story, but never mind. So I remember that I saw this woman. She was standing behind like a place where you get something to drink in a festival. And I was walking up to her and my heart couldn't stop pumping. I felt like I'm going to die, like literally so afraid. And I remember I walked up to her and I was like, hey, you look cute. I wanted to say hi. And she said, well, thank you, but I have a boyfriend. And in that moment, I said to myself, yes, she has a boyfriend. I don't need to continue on this conversation. But after that, I came back to my lesbian friend. I was so hyped, like, yeah, we did it. And she like didn't understand what's the problem, because for her, it's like, it's a problem. You wanna speak to a woman, speak to her. But I was so shy. But I remember after that, I was kind of touching myself, maybe not physically, but maybe emotionally. And I said to myself, Ofek, you are alive. Nothing happened to you. You haven't died. So let's continue on. And in that moment, I understand this is something I'm going to do for a lot of time. Okay, so the more I did that, the more I kind of got curious about female psychology, and I study more, and I've watched dozens and dozens of videos, so much information, and I was applying what I've learned and always trying new techniques and new stuff. And eventually I got really confident. I got into my first relationship. Remember, I was a virgin when I started this process, and now a year and a half afterwards, I'm in a relationship with a woman that I really love and actually felt like I chose her. And it's not just something that just happened. And on top of that, I had the most amazing experiences you can ever ask. I mean, threesomes and crazy dates and, dating models and you name it. And, sometimes I remember like how shy I was in my teenage year, and see myself now. It's a completely different person. It's a complete transformation. So now I want to talk about kind of the lessons that I've learned throughout the way, and also what you can learn from it to your daily life. The first thing that I've learned is meeting face-to-face is completely different than meeting online. Today, the main way that people kind of get to know each other is through dating apps. Well, I've learned that throughout the years, it's actually a bad way to kind of start your dating life. And what I mean by that is, today, most of the users on dating apps are guys. So chances are, first of all, against you. Second of all, a lot of women that are on these apps get thousands of likes and they really don't know what to do with all this attention, right? She's selectively picking the guys that she wants. And sometimes the selective process is so weird. Like I was once in a date with a woman and she was okay looking, right? Not like a model or something, but whatever, we were speaking and she showed me her OkCupid. Sometimes I'm curious, I ask about those stuff. And she showed me thousands of likes. She really did like this. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you do with all those guys? And she said, well, none of them are really serious. You see this guy, and I was looking, I see some good looking guys. I'm like, what about this? He said, I'm like, no, something. Then what about this guy? No. And the selective process was so weird because she had so many options. She started to get picky. Well, he has this nose and he looks like this. And when you meet women face to face, it's completely different. You can express yourself. She see who you are, right? And also, we coach thousands of guys, like one-on-one coaching as well. And I haven't seen a lot of guys speaking with women out the street. This is so rare, right? You see it sometimes in Instagram and stuff like that, but for me, it's very rare. And for you, this is great. And I'll tell you why. Because the competition is lower. And whereas the competition lower, your chance of succeeding is much higher. But you need to develop your flirting skill, your social skills. And this is what you need to do in order to get a crazy advantage over guys that maybe looks better than you. Maybe they get more likes on OkCupid or Tinder, but they don't know how to speak with women like you do. And also, if you get on a date on dating apps, well, you need to know how to communicate, how to flirt, how to get intimate. And this stuff you learn through communication with women face to face. The next thing that I've learned is what social media says about dating is much different than what happens face to face. So, sometimes I see those videos, for example, a girl that films a guy, he was staring at her at the gym and it was so creepy and blah, blah, blah. Well, I look at those videos and, oh my God, the poor girl, she wore the super short pants and this guy stared at her as if, you're not biologically programmed to look right? Well, some guys don't know how to look. They're just, reality. But I look at those videos, and I myself going to the gym, and I look at booties, here and there. I don't see this reaction. Well, I think sometimes girls do a lot of stuff on social media in order to be provocative, to get to views. I need to understand the reality is that if you know how to do things the right way, the chances are for you to be creepy or needy are very, very low, because it's something that you can work on. You can work on how to look at a woman. You can work on how to approach, how to speak. And you don't have to be creepy. And if you see sometimes that the girl says, well, he was this, he was that, just say to yourself, well, if I approach well and I do it well, chances are the woman is going to react very positively. Well, I got thousands of great comments about how I approach a woman, how I've made her day. And over that, a lot of dates and a lot of sex. And what I mean by that is, don't look at social media as kind of a way to explain how dating is supposed to be. Observe the reality itself. Only after you approach women and you get the experiences, then you can say to yourself, okay, this is reality. And it's much different than social media. And also sometimes I see those videos, right? These short clips of a guy approaching, and after 30, 40 seconds, ask the phone number from a girl. And from my experience, this is not a good way to have a conversation, because if you only speak to her this short amount of time, chances are she will not going to reply over text, and she will not want to meet with you. You need to have, at least 3 to 5 minutes of a conversation, and you need to do certain things in order for that girl to want to meet with you. So again, social media is different than day to day. The next thing that I've realized, and this is kind of, getting spiritual, is women are actually a mirror for our self-confidence. And what I mean by that is, when you project confidence and charisma, woman is going to react good for you. So basically, you actually measure your confidence as the reaction you get from a woman. And it's actually very helpful. So, sometimes guys are delusional. They think they are attractive and they're actually not. I've seen it. Guys think that they're good looking, but, they out of shape and they don't dress well and they smell bad. So actually what I would say to those guys is, well, if you get good reactions, that means you are correct. But if not, that means that something is missing, right? And we need to work on it. So actually, I've learned through the years that sometimes, you go out and you speak with women and something just doesn't click. It doesn't work, right? Because I approach thousands of girls, I get thousands of rejections. That's just the nature of things. But if you don't want just to try, and you want to have this mechanism of what to do and how to do, this is something that we speak about it a lot more on this channel. So if you like those sort of videos, you can like the video. This is the minimal thing you can do. You can subscribe to the channel and you'll see more videos like this. You can click that bell button and you will get notified every time we upload a new video. And also, if you want to get more content like this, you can click down below in the description, and there is a free WhatsApp group where we send daily good stuff that will help you to interact with women. We give you all the methods that helps thousands of guys with the women they want. So you can click down below. It's totally free, and you get access to that free WhatsApp group. And also, if you have a question or something that you want to ask, you can comment down below. I see everything myself and comment to it. And guys, we'll see you at the next video. Bye bye.